Okay, welcome back to Math 10C. We're going to finish off lesson 5 of Unit H, and it's talking about the slope formula. I figured we would just start off with a review from page 529. So we filled this all out. We talked about how slope is a measure of the steepness of the line, so that's just the plain old definition. We also looked at the formula, which is described in words in part B, so it's the ratio means they're related to each other, of the vertical change rise over the horizontal change run. And when I say over, okay, that means divide. Okay, oh, that looks like percentage, so I'm just going to go ahead and, there we go. Okay, a line segment which rises, so like this from left to right, is positive slope. If it falls from left to right, it's negative. If it's horizontal, we have a slope of 0. If it's vertical, we're undefined. And then slopes of all line segments on a line are equal. So for example, the overall purple slope compared to the blue and the pink are all equal. Okay. So then going to the next page, we also learned the slope formula pertaining to the actual points. So when you're given 2 points, if you subtract the y and then divide it by the difference in the x's, you will get the slope. Okay, and so it doesn't matter if you did y1 subtract y2 divided by x1 subtract x2, that would be fine as long as the same coordinate points are over top of each other. And then we talked about how you could just simplify this and say that m is the change in y over the change in x. Okay, so we were working on class example 2. We had defined our 2 points. Our 2 coordinate points of 15 and 8 were xe and ye, negative 10 and 6 were xf and yf. Okay, and then just to make sure that we have this correct, okay, so then the slope, so you can see it, is going to be, so the change in y, so ye minus yf over xe minus xf, or we could put the f's first, minus ye divided by xf minus xe. Both of those would be okay, as long as the coordinating points are over top. Okay, let's see what Eleanor did. Okay, so we've got negative 10, so that's xf. Okay, so xf is there, and then subtract 15. 15 is xe. So what she did, she put the x's on top. So then for our explanation here, we would say that Eleanor, let's spell her name wrong, used slope is equal to the change in x over the change in y. Okay, instead of the change in y over the change in x. Okay? Let's look at Bonnie. So Bonnie has the y's. So the y's are 8 and 6. So this one is ye, this one is yf. Okay? And then 15 is xe, and negative 10 is xf. Okay. I'm just making sure. Yeah, I definitely wrote that down. That's x. So the top is yf minus ye, and the bottom is xe minus xf. Okay, so she did the crisscross that she shouldn't have. So Bonnie used yf minus ye over xe minus xf, okay, instead of yf over ye xf minus xe. Okay, so that's the you would have to switch those. You could also just switch the bottom ones, but which I guess is what I showed over here. But either way, as long as they're the same, f's over f's, e's over e's, or what have you. Okay? So then let's look at Carl. What you do, Carl? Okay, so now we've got this one is the YE. That is YF. 15 is XE. And that is XF. Okay, so that actually looks okay. However, we should notice this is supposed to be negative 10. So it should be 15 subtract negative 10, so technically this would turn into a plus 10. Okay, so Carl used correct formula, but substituted incorrectly. 10 in for negative 10. Okay, so then we are supposed to so describe all the errors, so we did that, and determine the correct slope. Okay, well let's just work from his. Okay, so we know that this is supposed to be 15 plus 10. The 8 minus 6 was okay. So then 8 minus 6 is still 2, but this should be 25. And then eight minus 6, I think that's what he did though. 2 over 25. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Right, so that's that one. So then we just have one more page to look at. And we're going to do collinear points. Okay, so this right here is just a summary of the things that I'm trying to remember when you talked about this kind of thing before. I'm thinking grade 9, but I mean, whatever. We're going to talk about it now. So two lines in a plane can either be at an angle, okay, or they could be parallel and distinct. So in order to show that they're parallel, we would draw those little arrows there. And they could also be parallel and form a straight line. So like PQ, QR are parallel and form a straight line. Points that lie on the same straight line are said to be collinear. So we're going to underline or highlight whatever you have, because that is our definition. Okay. If 3 points are collinear, okay, then we would say that the slope of each of them are going to be equal. Okay, so if the 3 points are collinear, the slopes will be equal. And as long as we prove that 2 out of the 3 are equal, that's sufficient to assume that the third is equal. Okay? Alright, let's look at our last example. So consider points A, B, and C. So we've got our coordinates that we need to solve this. We just need to prove that 2 of them are collinear. Okay, so let's do the slope of AB first. And we're going to write out the formula. Because we've got so many coordinate points, we want to make sure that we don't make a silly error, which is easy to do. Okay, so we'll write those first. Okay, and then we're going to have, remember, slope is the change in y over the change in x. Whoa. So we're going to do yb minus ya, xb minus xa. So we get that all worked out so that we can then just substitute in. So yb is 6, ya is negative 3, so subtract negative 3 is going to become plus 3. Alright, xb is 2, and then subtract 5. Okay, so then 6 plus 3 is 9, 2 minus 5 is negative 3. So then 9 over negative 3 is going to be negative 3. Okay, so let's do the slope of B and C now. Okay, so we're going to write out our formula again. Okay, and we're just going to substitute in. YC is 33, YB is 6, XC is negative 7, XB is 2. So 33 minus 6 is 27. Negative 7 subtract 2 is negative 9. 27 divided by negative 9 is negative 3. Okay, so then we would just say, since the slope of AB is equal to the slope of BC, okay, then the points A, B, and C are collinear. Okay. Alright. So then, last part. Find the value of y if the point of negative 4y lies on this segment. Okay, so we know this tells us then the slope is negative 3. So we're going to use this formula, okay, but we're missing out on our yd, which is no big deal. That just means that we're going to do some algebra to solve. So the slope of AD is equal to yd minus, which one are we using? Ya, xd minus xa. So there's our formula. Now the slope, that looks like mad. The slope of this is negative 3. And then we just need to substitute in. So yd is just y. Okay. Ya from up here is negative 3, so then subtract negative 3 is just going to give me plus 3. And then xd is negative 4. And xa is negative 5. So this right here, negative 4 minus 5, gives me negative 9. Okay, so then I do cross multiplication, so it's going to be times negative 9 times negative 9. Negative 9 times negative 3 is going to give me 27. Now I still have this y plus 3 on this side, so all I need to do, subtract 3 from both sides. 27 minus 3 is 24. So the coordinate point is negative 4 and 24. Okay, you guys can work on your workbooks now. Just help each other out, stay on task, and have a good day.